I guess since that is such a common situation, many people in that industry would find themselves in. What advice would you have for people? I mean, obviously, get plugged into a church, but if they're not there yet, if they're just like, okay, now they think of you like you thought of Joe. I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm not hanging out with that guy.
Right.
What would you say to someone that kind of does feel like, yeah, no, I'm stuck in the hamster wheel a little bit,
Hmm.
and it's seems like the bolts are coming loose, and this whole thing could derail pretty quick
Yeah.
here. Yeah, I guess how would you pour into that?
Well, I would start looking at the relationships, and what's your network look like, either, in your career and in banking, finance, um, lending, there's the relationships that are your client relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have your supporting relationships. Look at both sides of that,
Hmm.
do the people that the clients that you have, the people that you are doing business with, do they support your values?
Mm-hmm.
You want to work with people that are like-minded,
Sure.
and not saying that I would turn away business if it was somebody that had, completely opposite values as me,
Yeah.
but the likelihood of us coming together
Mm-hmm.
on an opportunity or a business relationship is pretty small,
Yeah.
because we probably just wouldn't align to make it a fit
Mm-hmm.
for their business. And I like to be transparent with my clients. So you want to have clients just as much as, you're trying to win their business.
Mm-hmm.
They should be trying to earn, your business. And it is a true partnership.
Yeah.
And you want to, provide value back to each other,
Sure.
and then you're supporting relationships. And this is probably one of the biggest changes for me professionally is don't ever overlook those friendships that you
Mm-hmm.
have and those interactions that you have with other business professionals,
Mm-hmm.
because one of the funnest things that I get to do is, I might not have an opportunity to enter into a lending relationship with a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
but I just want to be involved with
Yeah.
them because of how they look at life, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
how they look at relationships. So, look at those people that are around you, and are
Mm-hmm.
they adding value to your personal mission and adding value to your goals,
Mm-hmm.
and if they're not aligning, you might have to consider, not necessarily cutting them out of your life, but, you know, how can you um, bring others in that do support you? And, we talk about this all the time, the circles of friends and
Mm-hmm.
how that changes over a period of time. Who you're close with today might be different than who you're close with in a year from now.
Yeah.
But, um, you want to, those people that you hold close, you want to be your strongest supporters and your strongest influencers. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I heard in two sides of that, I had two thoughts.
yeah.
One on the professional side, it seemed like what you were sort of hinting at was that there's a temptation to take any and all business. And
Yes.
it's that temptation that leads to a lot of the stress or getting stuck in the cycles of why am I
Absolutely.
have too much on my plate, and why, if it's not too much, it feels like too much. And it can be the
Absolutely.
emotional capital of clients that are just not a good alignment.
Yep.
And so focusing more on the as you said with the mission statement, the people metrics, making sure the
Mm-hmm.
alignment of relationships is there,
Mm-hmm.
that makes business fun.
Right.
The business will still come then,
Yep.
but you're not going to be overwhelmed, stressed out, because it's almost like in scripture it talks about being equally yoked.
Yes.
That you complement each other really well.
Yes.
So that's kind of what I heard. I just wanted to make sure that's
Yes,
what you were
that's
saying.
exactly.
Yeah. And then on the personal side, supporting relationships, I feel like that is something everyone needs.
Hmm.
And especially in areas where you professionally are surrounded by people who are either um, collaborators or competition. And what I
Hmm.
mean by that is like they do the same things as you. And so they probably think too similar to you, or they think too similar to how you're trying not to think.
Right.
And so I know it's like, I don't know how I'd classify myself, marketer, entrepreneur, whatever. I find it very refreshing to have friends that are not in that space.
Hmm.
Not because, I mean, their perspective is just different.
Right.
And a lot of times they can keep you grounded because maybe they're not that impressed with you because the things that you do, they just don't even understand.
Right.
Like you could be a huge success in finance and I would not understand it. And so in a
Yeah.
lot of ways I keep you grounded even though I admire you and think you're awesome. It's like, the ways that I think you're awesome have
Hmm.
a lot more to do with professional performance.
Right.
Or have a lot more to do with who you are than professional performance. And for
Right.
some reason that those relationships become so key then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and that's if there's any area that I could give advice for somebody that's maybe, and maybe this can be applied to different industry
Mm-hmm.
too, but particularly in banking and finance, is
Mm-hmm.
that um, try to find relationships to use as your client base with people that you want to work with.
Yeah.
I look at like the portfolio of business that I have right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all individuals that like I really look forward to
Yeah.
touching base with them
Mm-hmm.
once in a while, and to see them achieve their goals, and see what their family's doing. I've got
Yeah.
one guy in particular that we're really seeing things come together for him.
Yeah.
His oldest daughter is going to be going to school this fall,
Mm-hmm.
and just being able to grow with them
Yeah.
is just, it's really neat. And I do truly care, but there's a balance there too. You
Yeah.
don't want to get there. I think that in the industry, it's like, well, don't get too close to your clients,
Yeah.
and you do have to be respectful of that,
Right.
because money and stress do crazy things to people.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to continue to be mindful of that you don't, you know, harm a relationship by getting too close as
Right.
well. But I
Mm-hmm.
think just being open and transparent from the beginning is
Mm-hmm.
is key. But work with people that you want to work with.
Yeah. That there is some real power and wisdom in that. I remember I was talking with a mutual friend of ours, and I think I was talking about a client, an old client, not with 917 anymore. But it was stressful.
Hmm.
And he had given basically the exact same advice. And he had said it in a way I'd never even really heard this before. Same way you said it, but I never, I guess, really even considered it. And he said, not a good customer.
Hmm.
And I said, wait, you're not, he's like, yeah, not a good customer. You got to cut them
Hmm.
loose. You just like,
Yep.
yes, they'll pay you, maybe eventually, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be worth it. So
Right.
cut them loose. The business will get replaced,
Right.
and that was weird for me,
Hmm.
especially as you're starting a business.
Yeah.
To consider that you would actually turn away
Hmm.
work,
Yeah.
but as I'm hearing from you, there's a lot of wisdom in it. And it
Absolutely.
really helps down the road to then be able to look at your portfolio, like you said,
Right.
and say, wow, I am genuinely excited, or at least genuinely care about all of these stories,
Absolutely.
and the various, roles that we get to play in helping them.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing that I've found too in my um, career is that I've been able to be very open and honest with these clients. And I have people that call me,
Mm-hmm.
and ask, can we meet? I have a need,
Yeah.
and I've heard, that you might be able to help me. And we talk about it,
Yeah.
and maybe we even get further down the road and it's just a decision is made that, I or our bank isn't a fit for that. There's nothing wrong with being able to say, you're not a fit for me and how we do business, but I've built this relationship with many other
Yeah.
people in the industry
Sure.
that I know that might be a fit. So, I can still help them
Yep.
even though I'm not directly providing,
Yeah.
the solution.
Yep.
So, as you have these relationships and it doesn't need to be necessarily a hard breakup either,
Yeah.
that you can just, hopefully you get to the point where you're mutually agreeing that this probably isn't a fit.
Yeah.
And, you can have your need filled someplace else,